Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda, Hero of Sight, Defender of the Fatherland. We're off here to an exciting 1 vs 1 on Crossroads. In the south, we got here Justin Bieber. Well, he's someone who calls himself that, fighting here for king and country, the Commonwealth. Taking on the role here of the 7th Armored Division versus the north, we got Dezman fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland fighting on here for the Führergrenadier Brigade with Ostrom Doctrine and Panzerfaust and Mine Bullets available for him versus Mobile Assault Vanguard and Special Weapons here for Justin with Triple Infantry. So we got a bit more aggressive start here for Dezman. Essentially, he can get out and take more territory fast here with the Ostrom since they have no build time. They're also reasonably cheap, so that way you can sort of just swiftly move up for the fatherland. Section moving out there, so triple section start there for Justin as well. We can see that again Dezman is just out faster, thanks to again just Ostrom just being really fast. We also got sandbags and Bartwell going for the cough point. Dezman obviously wants to protect his cough point against any British harassment and any pushes there. So that's only a bit of foresight to play there for Dezman. Looks like he's aiming for a sniper after this. I mean, he's building no machine guns, no mortars, grenadiers, more Ostrom. So that looks like a double Ostrom into sniper build, which some players like to go for. And it's as the British, to the extent it can make sense. With Ostrom again, just basically secure your base of territory, and then you follow up with the sniper. Because the thing with early snipers is you usually tend to fall behind in map control if you go for them. But with Ostrom, that's not going to happen. And there you go, sniper on the way there for Dezman. We got a section opening up with the Lee Enfields on the Pioneer. Ostrom westwards, they're going to grab the fuel. Other Ostrom pushing up eastwards. And right here, of course, Dezman is making a bit of a risky move. I mean, he's extending them very far. And he can play aggressive with the Ostrom to an extent. You still need to work them together to really get the full effect. Because otherwise, you're just risking getting outmaneuvered. Now you can see there again, he's shifting the section towards, or the Ostrom towards the centre. Because he's where the opponent's going to push for it. So, in that regard, we can also see there's some slight weakness here. Now, in fact, he's a bit more indecisive with the Eastern squad. Entirely sure he wants to push here or there. And there you go, getting caught there. Occupying the house in the centre. Pioneers pushing for the fuel. Sniper down there for Dezman. And the Führergrenadier Brigade, one of 2 brigades formed out of the bodyguard units that were sort of meant to defend him at the Wolfschanze. Fun fact. Ostrom there getting surrounded, though he just needs to retreat. Rapidly we got the snipers moving up, opening up the section there, landing a good hit. Ostrom now pushing forward, so there's the sniper sort of keeps her occupied there. He knows pretty much all of Justin's forces on these, so thus he can sort of push up more aggressively through the centre. But is he going for another sniper, or what exactly is Dezman planning? He's beginning to put a lot of manpower again, and double snipers I think would be a bit ridiculous and very greedy there from Dezman. But we'll have to see if that's actually what he's aiming for, because again he's floating a lot of manpower. Now there you go, notice an MG42, a bit late there field, but still trying to bleed out. And meanwhile Justin is going for an incredibly heavy infantry building. He's not just going for 4 but 5 sections. I mean, to an extent you get suppose counter the sniper with that, just swarms of infantry, but even then, you know, if you don't handle them correct, the sniper can bleed you out, and of course the machine guns will certainly work out nicely. Though to an extent it makes it harder for Dezman to make use of small sections or squad numbers of Ostrom, because he can't really sort of match the infantry head on. So I mean, it's a counter as opposed there. It is a counter here by Justin. This counter strategy certainly rather aggressive and to an extent pretty spammy. I mean, we can see that Dezman is still containing it for now, but of course once it really gets swinging he could be running into issues. MD4 to the riding, we got take immediately here for Dezman. He might actually regret that. I mean, versus 5 infantry sections, you're going to need at least more Ostrom, another MD42 I think, before I try to take out. Just sort of try and contain all of the infantry a bit more efficiently. Also, Justin can support the Ostrom better because he's still scattering them very broadly across the map, so that's not always the best. I mean, we got one squad obviously supported by the sniper, but the other is not. But we got the MD42 not looking to move into that instead, sadly. And the west, they're pushing ahead. Telemines down there for Dezman, obviously worried about British armoured cars or a universal carrier, so setting up to sort of deal with that. Very good, sehr good. He could go for an officer, that wouldn't be a half-bad choice, would support his troops a bit, but likely he won't. Also occupying the house tonight to the Tommies. Alright lads, there's a sniper about. Keep your eyes out, try not to be careful, and God, oh, they got Johnson. He was behind us all the time, the sneaky bastard. How dare those Germans flank? That's just not cricket. So there we go, we can set up light mechanized company, in which case you should do it pretty damn schnell. Meanwhile, bolted sections. So Justin here is really pushing the infantry button hard. I mean, 5 sections bolstered. That is a lot of infantry. Dezman needs to be able to react to this very fast, and probably is going to go for the flank for a half-track to counter this, since 5 sections with bolts, bolts there means there's not going to be needed sort of immediate anti-tank to cover them. And of course, a flame for a half is just going to be amazing. It's just going to cause so much damage if Dezman handles it correctly. So I'm pretty much predicting a flame for a half. I mean, it's really his best choice, to be honest. The MG42 there, pushing on much towards these, he's trying to slow down his opponent resource income. You also need to be careful about his sniper. I mean, there's nothing screening it, and Justin's got a ton of infantry, so I mean, he couldn't fear a rush against that as well. But there you go. Half-track on the way there, Mittler shoots some Panzerwagen, and no surprises. Ostrom getting the section up close. Pioneer snaking about there with the sniper. Other Ostrom squad also needs to get into the fight fast. Schnell. Again, no tail yet there for Justin, and no doctrine either. Flam Panzerwagen away, they're certainly cutting down there on the cut-off point. It's not a fire landing a few hits, but there goes section moving up into the explosive rounds might be necessary to sort of help make it a bit harder for Justin to do what he wants, but then again that will slow down the flamethrower upgrade, and again he wants the Flam Panzerwagen, he wants it bad. And again versus all these sections, either going to have to go for a lot of machine guns, or he's going to have to go for a flame for a half-track. Because those are his best options for basically just dealing with all this infantry. You can also see that back down the south of the minimap, there's finally a bit of take up there for Justin. Also from the quick reinforcement of the half-track gets upgraded. MG42 down here sort of basically trying to prevent the British from moving from here to just grab the fuel point back, so at least that way he is preventing Justin from getting too much fuel ahead of him. Meanwhile, troops reinforcing, bunker up there for Dezman and the Führergrenadier Brigade, which as a fun fact had 3 infantry battalions, and the 3rd battalion, I think battalions were actually might be in companies or something like that. Either way, I don't think it was battalions actually. And the 3rd battalion was actually made up of Landsturm, well, former Landsturm, technically, since they technically became Panzerfusiliers once they became part of the Panzerfusilier Bataillonen. Yeah, basically Landsturm, which was the predecessor to the Volkssturm. And you probably haven't heard of the Landsturm because then again people just talk about the Volkssturm and never talk about the Landsturm, which basically existed for much longer than the Volkssturm. But there you go, Flam Panzerwagen there, doing what it's supposed to do, murdering Justin's infantry in that way, ensuring that Dezman, can sort of really hard counter this kind of stuff there. But again, Justin Bebop knows what to expect, and he's going for the armoured car himself, though again, the argument could have been he maybe should have gone for that a bit faster somehow, by not going for that much infantry, but either way, Dezman so far counting what Justin is doing here nicely. Though his sniper is pushing his luck pretty far, but still 14 kills. There is quite a lot of bleed there on Justin. A lot of manpower drained out, and certainly also makes it harder for Justin to do what he wants. It's also in the flame for a half-track, and there's a lot. But obviously, Dezman now has to be prepared for the armoured car. I mean, he's got 1 Telemine, and that's not going to be enough. That is not going to be enough to stop an AEC Mark III. He's going for the Pack 40 there, but the Pack is kind of struggling there to keep pace with the flame for a half-track. This is where some might just consider getting several armoured cars that way, supported, of course, that bears its own risks. Other way, AEC Mark III on the way. Further fun fact about this 3rd battalion of, again, Landsturm, that is, older militiamen, was they were all mounted on bicycles. That's another fun fact there, and they both, by the way, fought in the Ardennes. You forward sitting up here, section right in front of it, no grenades! There we go. Yeah, shoots him up close. I don't know why he got this close, but shoots him hard. There you go, he's going to lose that flame for half there, so I don't think any way he can sort of there's a Pack 40 if he can set it up in time. Maybe he might dissuade the armoured car from going in. Oh, Pack 40 shoots, but still. There we go. It isn't enough to push back the armoured car. Justin does not want to push it. Here in the West, Ostrom fighting off a section there in the centre. Pioneers denying the house. He's going to need more Telemines, I think, to have a better chance there. Sniper moving out. Ostrom there. Reinforcing, and the flame craft is going to need some assist repairs. There you go. Arm coming up. Bart in the centre sandbags, but there you go. MG42 advancing, and it is caught there by the AC Mark III, hounding the machine gun crew, taking down 2 of the members there. Sniper dealing with the section on the flank there. Pack 40 setting up, and that armoured car is actually pretty damaged. No! Move the flame for half-tick too close there. I think that might have misclicked by Dezman. That is the only logical reason he can imagine from actually moving his flame for half-tick towards the position of the armoured car, thusly costing him the flame for half-tick, and thusly costing him the ability to really sort of punish Justin's infantry heavy build there. But there you go, and the RPs went up in the section there, holding them up here. Good aggressive use of it, but that armoured car is quickly going to be a thorn in the side there of Dezman. He's going to need a lot more Telemines, I think, to have a chance versus that. Meanwhile, they're holding up here, which makes them easy target for the MG42 since there's no windows in the side, any gaps they can fire out from. Oh, the telemine actually paid off, taking out Justin's armoured car. That's great news there for Dezman and the Fuel Grenadier Brigade. As another fun side note, they will both be upgraded into a full division by 1945, though that wouldn't really make a huge difference, I think, for them, since by that time a division in Panzer Division wasn't exactly a huge deal. Still, we got Austin pushing forwards into the sections. I mean, this is kind of where he needs to sort of begin bringing up either officers to support the Ostrom, more machine guns, or Panzer Grenadiers, because, I mean, the Ostrom are quickly sort of going to lose their ability. I mean, at most now they're just basically sort of decoys for the sniper. You know, the sniper does the actual shooting, the Ostrom does the being shooted at bit. Yeah, we names this Operation Human Shield. You will be the shield, and the sniper will be what is shielded. Yeah, I think this is terrible idea. Shut up. And he's pushing up west side there, Justin using infantry again. He's back to 5 sections, by the way. He is absolutely intent there on just heavy infantry versus the Wehrmacht plane. You don't see it that much, but again, it can be surprisingly nasty again due to the way the British infantry works.
Damned enemies trying to take a point from us.
So take up there though for Dezman. That is good. If you can actually get the feel for it then, and the problem is, of course, Justin is harassing Dezman's field more consistently now. You should probably consider the very least another machine to help contain all of Justin's infantry. I think the mortar might actually be a mistake. There's not really, I think, a lot that sort of deeply requires it. And another machine gun, I think, would have favoured Dezman more. Again, would allow him to contain Justin's troops more efficiently. Almost lost a sniper there too, which is not good. And there you go, he is now going for the second infantry that way again, contain the infantry heavy approach of Justin and the 7th Armoured Division, which so far is not displaying too much armour. Certainly no doctrine either. So this could allow Justin to get a bit of a burst of fuel ahead of Dezman, unless Dezman quickly captures and then maybe drops a supply drop of some there with more fuel for him. Troops being held up in the centre. We got a 6-pounder going up there because it's obviously worth that Dezman's going to hit him with armour, as certainly is a rather understandable worry there. Sections overcome by stout German fighting prowess. Mortar on the other hand flanked. Ostrom doing what he can here. He's going to try and wipe it, and it's only exposed around again. Could maybe what Dezman needs to be. He's also got a lot of munitions, so mines, more mines to this would be pretty good. S-mines, telemines, whatever kind of mines can you sort of come up with. So that way slow down any sort of capturing there by Justin and any advances. Sniper getting very close to the Vet 23 by the way, and he's done quite a number on Justin. Quite a number. Shifting the machine gun over towards the fuel point. Victory point grabbed. No signs of mines though by Dezman. Keine Minen. Despite having bullets in fact you cheaper mines. So any part of me that would then like to see some more mines from Dezman. When you have that. Machine gun holding up a section advance there for the centre. Reasonably strong position, though he has to be careful it doesn't get quickly knocked out. Not exactly the most sturdy of houses. You can go for an Ostrom now again versus all that infantry. Wouldn't be a bad choice there, I think. He's still in a sense of a fuel lead. Of course, he might read his opponents already going for Cromwells, in which case, you know, Panzerforce is a solid choice, which you can then quickly follow up with a Stug. But, you know, an Ostrom otherwise, but again, we know that Justin hasn't taken up. So obviously, we know the Ostrom is probably the best choice and can get there versus an opponent again with a lot of infantry. We'll have to see what Dezman does, but it very much looks like he's just aiming for the Panzer. Fortunately, he's actually shifted his machine gun already here a bit further back, so he can't be flanked through here, but at the same time can defend the fuel point. Sadly, Dezman is not huge in spending of his munitions on mines, as I definitely feel is a bit of a mistake there by Dezman. And that definitely feels like a mistake. And you could also mine his cutoff point with Dezman. Instead, he's building bunkers. You can also now go for the Panzer, but machine gun bunker to cover the centre victory cutoff point there. That's definitely not a bad idea. And there we go, we got the Panzer on the way as well there. Oh, his sniper! Oh, oh. Always be careful how you operate your sniper like that. Holy snot biscuits. That sniper was filthy lucky there. He did not get wiped there on the spot. and not get wiped there again with only a sliver of health left. That was really risky there by Dezman. Really risky. And again, filthy lucky. There's just no way to describe that, but just filthy, filthy luck. There you go, machine gun bunker up there. Should actually be able to support here and deal with the section. Then we got a mortar plate going up here for Justin at the same time as he's pushing up there. Basically using this as a distraction. Maybe just to set up the mortar emplacement without having to be worried about, you know, attack or harass. Panzer IV almost done there for Dezman and the Führer Grenadier Brigade. Mortar there, dealt with by the section again. Sniper opens up now, veteranly free, swiftly healed. 24 kills there for the fatherland. There we go, Panzerkampf and Flugeffects right there for Dezman and Deutschland. And there you go, straight from the machine gun bunker. Panzer IV as well. Second section there halted as well there, but the MD4 coming up from here. So now Dezman has a much more stout defense, but at the same time though, Justin's just got a rather offensive tool there added. He needs to shoot Dezman, needs to get the machine out before it gets silenced by the mortar emplacement. And we got a fuel drop in from Dezman as well. Hello. So far then he's using 2 abilities out of 4 so far available to him in the drops. And of course we hope he doesn't, you know, repeat ships his mistake, which is of course gets it all stolen by his enemy right on his nose. Justin though still hasn't taken out whatsoever. Really should do that. He needs to be going for armor now, but again, it might be just the manpower, but if having to manage 5 sections that is actually preventing him from taking up, because he needs that manpower. So in that regard, we can sort of see that the heavy infantry build has a few disadvantages, that at the same time, as we can also see, it's otherwise pretty effective. There you go, more fuel being dropped in to support the Führer Grenadier Brigade's advance. Note the 2nd Brigade, also by had a 3rd battalion there, manned by Landschützen. But again, they were based on the predecessor there, served in a lot of security divisions across the eastern front, that way, you know, maintain security and do other business. Dezman's laying down there. Need to keep ramming that fuel before the sections hit it, Dezman. Though he's got most of it. It'll still be shaming him for 1 fuel crate there to be handed over to Justin. Up here before talking about a section there in the centre. Mortar there. He's laying down a lot of mines here, by the way. A lot of mines. That's going to make it harder there for Justin to move out his infantry freely. That's good. Panzer IV moving westwards. He can actually go for another Panzer IV now. At which point he'd actually have a sizable arm advantage over Justin. Could utilise that, I think, pretty efficiently versus him. Justin still refusing to take up there. Not entirely sure what's up with that. He's now going for weapon match because he's actually loaded up on a ton of munitions. He's definitely not playing a usual Brit player though. A lot of Bren guns. And Piets. Still no tag up, which certainly could cause him some troubles there once he gets hit by a lot of Panzer IVs, maybe supported by an Ostwind. In fact, getting Ostwinds now would be, you know, reasonably sound for Dezman. Again, he probably doesn't know how his opponent is taking it all, and again, he's just concerned about enemy armor. Oh, he's going straight for tier 4. That's definitely one where you've seen the supply drops on as well. Just uses a fuel of fast tier 4 after your first tank to that way stabilise. Interesting choice there, as long as Dezman then doesn't do anything silly with set tier 4, which is where of course some players tend to go. But there you go again, ton of Bren guns now, which again further just means the Ostwind struggle a lot more. Like even Panthermans will struggle with that many Bren guns.
Enemy causing trouble, trying to take one of our points.
Which he of course hit the point he's defending. In theory, he could sort of try and sneak up and hit here. I mean, this is obviously where having a flamethrower have to have been really great, because again, he could just deal with that much more easily and efficiently with just say driving up here, hit and run, just lighting on fire, then fall back, and then repeat as necessary. He's making a push up there. I think he's going to try and knock out the bunker with the front of the assault there. Mortify laying down to cover as well. He's going to need to flank with the Panzer IV instead of driving right in front of everything Justin's got. He also finds the section there. He's got the MD4 there, but he's all worried about the flank assault here. You can see the continued assault here by Justin in the centre. Dezman doesn't have quite enough command points to call in the artillery. Panzer IV lands a good hit, but needs to pull back the Panzer IV. And he needs to bring something up that's going to hit. Even as this is all happening, heavy Panzer IV going up here. He needs to get the other infantry in the work as well. The sappers clearing up the mines, making it a lot harder there for Dezman to slow them down. Machine gun dealing with the flank there, but the Ottomans meanwhile getting hit by mortar fire and Bren fire. Sniper joining in, 30 kills for Fatherland. Another kill there on the Tommies. Troops advancing there, bunker still standing, troops getting suppressed there. Ostrom wiped. Well, lost there for Dezman. He's down to just 1 infantry squad. Again, versus an opponent with 5 infantry squads. Caught between 2 machine guns, they are rapidly dispersed. Machine gun bunker still standing there for Dezman. And finally got tech up there as well for Justin Bieber. So they can finally bring up the tanks there versus the Huns. So what will Dezman aim for? Panther, Sturmpanzer, Panzerwerfer. Panzerwerfer. Probably recommend a Panther first, or even a Sturmpanzer here, just sort of start off with things something a bit harder to kill. But a Panzerwerfer could be sort of reasonably well off him just dealing with Justin's infantry again. So could the Sturmpanzer, the Panzerwerfer is cheap. Now he cancels it. So it looks like he's deciding either for the Panther or the Sturmpanzer. Careful with that machine gun, Dezman. Vorsicht, Vorsicht. The Panther going down supports now there, 34 kills. There you go, machine guns out. So the easy target for light machine gun teams. So the double light machine gun, they can quickly cut any sort of heavy machine gun team setting up. Well, incautiously to be honest. And there's actually I like the white. Got the Panther driving. And there go the Indicator to his right, but a mistake there by Dezman. Going for the Sturmpanzer. I mean, if you're really going to go for Sturmpanzer, I would almost say if you have got the option of bet off with the Ostwind, since that's a much more consistent rate of fire. There you go, the veterans one for the Panther. We got S1 to cover up a flank attempt there by infantry. Sturmpanzer on the way for Dezman. As for Justin, nothing further going on there. He could easily go for hammer or anvil tactics, whatever you say desires. Panther will take a lot of hits there from Piats. But the loss of the MD42 will certainly do Justin a lot of good there defensively and offensively. Sturmpanzer almost done there for Dezman. And Justin goes for his first armor piece, and that's going to be a Firefly to that way counter German armor. Let's go back the Panther for most needed repairs. Oh, he's going to lose it. He's not moving it. Get it out of there! Oh dear! Almost lost a sniper to his own Sturmpanzer. That was incredibly risky there by Dezman, incredibly risky. Suicide called in here on the Morton placement, almost knocked it out there. But he wants to make sure it stays dead. He also wiped his own Ostrom squad, by the way. So now he's got no infantry. Well, he's got some gun that. Still, he's also got a section there at some point. He also seems to have not a path here, maybe? Yes, I think there's a small path the infantry can now move through. So he got the Morton plate, now we got the Firefly. He's got a Sturmpanzer, which won't help with that, but of course will help with the infantry. She'll then have to go for a Panther thing, or some Stugs, to then counter the Firefly more directly. Big 2 points wise, it's pretty close with the small lead for Dezman and the Führer Grenadier Brigade. I still think Dezman needs more infantry. And then again, feel like there's so many things he needs more of. At least he's mining more, though. Has to be careful about placing his own stuff in his own minefields. There you go, Stump. Take a hit from the Firefly. Mortar doing what he can. Therefore, not quite put in the Firefly. Not a hit there on the Sturmpanzer. But the Panzer up, they can only put things back. There you go, lands a good hit on the Firefly. Troops up here healing, reinforcing repairs going on with the Panzer IV.
Enemy causing trouble, trying to take one of our points.
Gonna try and crash that house with the section in it. Almost wiped out there, almost. A lot back and forth, but also increasingly centre focus. Then again, the fight has been awfully centred there. Now the player really trying any big outmaneuvers of the other through the sides of the map.
Damned enemies trying to take a point from us.
Panzer IV ready for Dezman, and he's going straight for the Stugs. No attempt for Panthers here for Dezman.
Our supply line's broken.
Straight push there, forward point here, heading mines in the east, and there you go, Panzer IV joining in, supported by the sniper.
They're trying to take it.
And some more movement here in the west. Kind of is covered there by the M32 holding up behind the what looks like a rather extravagant car crash. Jump on something need repairs as well. Stuck halfway done. Far from it. Got the anti-tank, and that's actually pretty big there for Dezman. Justin is still yet to go for any sort of specialization. Trying to catch us now that there's Firefly. Maybe let's use the two rockets. You can do that. We've certainly seen players do that before on the channel. And almost got the Firefly there. Ah, hit the hedgerows instead. Got oh, rocket! Almost got the Panzer IV there. That could be the end of it. Got the Firefly. Oh, Panzer IV gets away there. Blitz is off. Schnell, Helmut. Get us out of this. I don't want to die here. I want to die in the ruins of Berlin. Wait, what? Ignore that. Pulling back the Panzer IV, got the Stuck rolling ahead, though that definitely needs some extra support, and that's really the one thing Dezman is severely lacking at the moment. Which to an extent is why the Panther might have worked better for him. Justin still floating an awful lot of resources. He needs to be careful of that, but again, his infantry approach has again proven to be rather effective as Dezman so far. Sabers charging forwards here, growing points here and there. And apparently forgotten about the S-mines. And there you go, almost wiped in fact thanks to the S-mines. The S-mine there proving quite helpful for Dezman. While the Panzer IV there receives vital repairs. Sturmpanzer moving ahead, catches the machine gun. Actually doesn't, because it doesn't hit them at all. Cromwell away there for Justin Bieber and the 7th Armored. Sturmpanzer there swats the sappers quite brutally. And then on the west here we've got a section run north by the MD-42 there behind the car crash. Troops moving westwards. Kind of needs to bring up the centre. We got more infantry now for Dezman. Das ist gut. Das ist gut. There you go, sections run off. We got a deep flank here in the far west. Apparently Dezman's extending again. No! Well, Dezman does with his MD-42. He shifts them from time to time on this. I mean, he positions them here, in which case that obviously didn't last long. He repositions his machine guns so that way make it hard for his opponent to flank them. I mean, obviously Justin was setting up for a pretty good flank, but again, that one was very much predicated on the idea that Dezman never repositions machine guns, which Dezman does from every engagement. That way, again, ensuring his opponent never truly knows where they are and can't easily flank them. So that's some pretty good play there by Dezman. Pretty good play. But still reluctant to use some bigger flanks from Dezman against the Commodores, who's handing up things well there. And these guys being wiped out though. Justin here with Vanguard. I suppose there might be a crocodile down the road. Go back the Panzer IV. Dezman, Schnell. Got it though with the sniper again. And good hit there with the Panzer IV, but they're still trying to worry about there. Go penciling hit. Quick blitz. Sturmpanzer shoots, fails to penetrate and do any damage. Though technically, even a non-penetrating hit from a Sturmpanzer would have been pretty critical for any tank, since those shots pack a lot of high explosives. More than a shot of an ISU 152, and those were known for cracking open German tanks. So I'm pretty sure Sturmpanzer shooting at a British tank would have very much taken that apart like, you know, a nutcracker. Fun side note there. Panzer IV's going to need repairs. And now Dezman and the Führer Grenadier Brigade aims for the Panzerwerfer. He has not given up on that one. He has not. That sniper though is really effective there. 50 kills. And how many kills has Yoruba got? 106. So more or less that sniper accounts for almost half of Dezman's sort of kills this battle. I mean, that is definitely a sniper well worth his price. Though again, he got lucky several times there. We got quick self repairs enacted here using the crew repairs ability. And you got Panzerwerfer out here for Dezman. 6-pounder gun, another lands a good hit there on the Sturmpanzer. And then this is where the Panzerwerfer will prove handy with its 15cm rockets to try and silence any British anti-tank weapons, and for that matter support weapons. the anti-tank guns decides it wants to stand still, otherwise that's going to be a wasted rocket barrage for Dezman. Panzer moving up, mortar firing down. And there you go, Panzerwerfer unleashed. Grenadiers still wipe quite a lot there for Dezman and the German arm, but there you go, Panzerwerfer there. Wipes the machine gun, almost gets the anti-tank and forces back there. Section in the centre almost being wiped out as well. Bren gun dropped. Now that's definitely a small win there for Dezman and the German army. He can just get his Grenadiers to secure that one. The Grenadiers actually moving up here. Panzer fast there from Otto. Panzer IV setting out. Sturm Panzer Stu definitely support the Panzer IV. This is the Cromwell, I think. Justin on the longer defensive here versus Dezman, who's getting a lot more aggressive now. He's not too worried about the large chunks of infantry Justin's throwing about there like he was early in the game. So hits on the Panzer IV by the pier. It's actually getting very close to its virtually free enemy A status. But there you go, Cromwell goes straight for it, but no shots bouncing. Still Panzer moves in, lands another hit. Their veterans won 11 kills for Germany. Sniper though finally actually died there for Dezman. That's quite a loss for him. He has lost a true hero there. A man who killed many, a Tommy. That's quite a loss there for Dezman. A big win for Justin, since now there's a lot less to sort of, you know, bleed out his infantry. More Grenadiers there for Dezman. Justin, I think at this point he's just saving up for the crocodile. Just setting up for something and burn his opponents to a very fine crisp. Hitting the victory point there with a bold section. Go Sturm Panzer joining in. Push up for the centre of that, running straight into the Panzer IV, also a bit bunched up, then next to cover, and making it easy for the Panzer IV to have a better chance of just wiping the entire lot. But he's worried there might be something supporting here. I think the infantry lastly pulls back the Panzer IV. At the same time, they're wiping the pack forward. It's going to hurt Dezman quite a bit. Bit of shooting out the anti-tank gun doesn't quite sign us off. This Sturm Panzer Stu getting to the centre. He still actually hasn't done a lot. I think he's shot one guy and that's it. Esmond's going off here. Cromwell quickly dealing it out with it. And machine gun here, sounding not captured by Dezman, is back to suppressing the German infantry. Panzer moving up here for some rocket artillery versus Justin. Fires the barrage. I think he tries to sign stuff. Instead moves straight into line of fire of the anti-tank and gets destroyed. And the Panzerwerfer doesn't do too much. There's a bit of a loss there by Dezman. Apparently wasn't quite paying attention to the battlefield and cost him actually a bit there. They could now try and aim for a Panther, which I think would seal the deal there versus any of Justin's armour. Plus, the rest of the infantry, the machine guns, and the Panther do work nicely as long as you don't do anything, you know, too silly with the Panther. Though some players seem to just inherently, whenever they get a Panther in their hands, they use it in a very silly manner and lose it very quickly because that's not how you use the Panther. But we'll have to see here. I mean, he has the fuel, he almost has the manpower. So will Dezman go in that direction? That is the magical question he has for Justin. Again, he seems to be in here for the crocodile, and I just need to set up manpower. But again, with all these infantry he has, it does present itself as a bit of a challenge there for Justin. And he wants to concede a lot of the map. Well, what he has left of the map, I suppose, more accurate, just to get that crocodile out. Panzer IV shoots, misses, but it is super close. That's right. There you go, taking it from the 6-pounder gun. Back forcing up as well. And there you go, virtually 3 ace status reached on the Panzerkampfwagen. Landing another nice hit on the Cromwell. Another hit from the 6-pounder gun on the Panzer IV though. Need to be careful for that one, can't afford to lose it. Not a penetrating hit, that just needs to go back to base for repairs now. He doesn't know. Careful, Dezman, you're getting overconfident. There we go, pulls it further behind to safety. He can soon go for the Panther. Justin getting her close to the crocodile. There you go, Cromwell rolling up here straight for the Sturm Panzer. Pack 40 setting up there. And a nice hit there on the Cromwell Mark IV cruiser tank. Sturmpanzer bellows again and shatters some poor British soul into non-existence. And we got air support called in here by Justin. British Typhoons straight through German defences. Pack 40 they almost wiped out already. Stu getting shot in there. Go. Pack 40 wiped quite a bit of loss here. Panther almost good to go. He can also soon go for the Panther. In the meanwhile, Justin also getting very close here to the Crocodile. Tilify there running off the section almost wiped with the Sturmpanzer combined with the S-mines. But it's their Panther fast. They got Bren guns and light machine guns. There you go. Damage taking Panther 4 moving in. Sections run off. Here's Justin's assault there. Staggers out. Peters out. Firefly on the way there for Justin. Panther slowly approaching this supposedly for Dezman. Oh, he didn't go for the Cromwell in the end. Oh, Crocodile. He went for the Firefly. Which probably means he did go for it, but realised that doesn't actually work out. There you go. Got the Cromwell, but lost his Ace Panzer 4. Less good there for Dezman. Less good. But again, he is supremely closer to the Panther. He decides to go for it. If the Sturmpanzer is also now supremely close to getting Betchen T2 and Schutzen. A lot of hits there though from 6-pounder gun and Piats. Projector infantry anti-tank is basically what that abbreviation meant. And there we go, we got the Panther on the way for Dezman, the Panzerkampfwagen 5.
Sherman Firefly complete.
Yep, second Sherman Firefly out there for Justin. Tulip rockets on the way. Section 3 up there in the centre. Goes with Bren guns and light machine guns turning to those Tommies. They need to retreat soon, there's just too many of them and too many Bren guns. Sturmpanzer machine prior to repairs. Noting by there's a telemark there to prevent some pump factory rushing in and trying to catch any damaged tanks inside his own base. Definitely not a bad idea though. It does mean he has to be careful about repairing right next to it. I mean, imagine if something went off there. That'd be pretty bad news. Mortar wipe though, but the machine gun bunker saves the day alongside the Stug. Bringing this machine gun bunker, I think, has actually been a pretty good investment there for Dezman. Sturmpanzer there, 18 kills for the Fatherland. And finally we got the Panther out here for Dezman as well. The Panzerkampfwagen 5. Firefly lands a good hit there against the Sturmpanzer with its 17-pounder gun. Also, a fun fact about the Panther, it was actually very cramped inside the turret. It's actually slightly difficult to load the gun. And in fact, on the Model F Panther, which in theory was planned as some say again fought at the very end of the war, the turret basically was even smaller. And while in theory in some ways was spacious, it actually meant like to reload the Panther's gun, they actually had to scrape munition against the back of the turret. It's generally not good. Oh, he got the Sturmpanzer there with the Firefly. Quite a loss there for Dezman. Quite a loss. Getting that machine gun there to the Panther. Keep the Stug close to the Panther and overall keep the Panther supported with infantry as well. That's actually some heavy losses there for Dezman, to be honest. Going for an Ostwind Flak Panzer. Yes, that's an option. Another fun fact about the Panther is the early model, the Model D, had an issue with the engine. They used an aircraft engine, and apparently turned out it had a bit of a flaw when used in tanks. Where if the tank was tilted in a certain angle, it would basically cause the engine to burst into flames. I think it was like a 20 or 30 degree angle or something like that. That's a little fun side note there. Well, far then the Panther head on. He needs to flank more. I do feel like that's one thing Dezman has not been frightfully good at, launching bigger flank assaults. Needs to not be in front of the Firefly with this Panther though. As well, where the Firefly's going to have the biggest advantage. He just starts out there. Going to repairs here. Overall, Dezman's slowly beginning to lose more ground here to Justin, who's getting more aggressive here. And that machine gun is really proving to be a thorn in the side of Dezman. MG42, the British though. Smoke from the small degree good. In this case, it's going to move in the Ostwind to flank it. That is good. Almost got it wiped there. Yes, yes. Almost got it, but not quite. Panther going to do would be some kind of good idea there for Dezman. Panther almost good to go. Again. Cromwell arriving there for Justin and the 7th Armored Division. Got Pioneers bringing up the Ostman following up. Just keep up the Stug as well there if he intends to make any sort of bigger assault there versus Justin.
Our capture point. They're trying to take it.
Slowly advancing with the machine gun there. Panther good to go for Germany. Deutschland. Laying down S mines here. Interesting setup there by Dezman. Very interesting setup.
Enemy threatening a capture point.
Gonna do some these for the Panther there. Firefly, I think. Other elements are seeing towards the centre. Taking fire from Stugs and Ostwind. I think he's trying to catch the Firefly off guard here. Ostwind needs to be careful though. Be ashamed to lose it now with all the infantry about and the likes. Looks like he could act in the blue. The Panther mistake for the Firefly, but up close, need to be careful there. Also remember there's still the 6-pounder gun and he's isolating his Panther. This is really bad. This is one thing you should not be doing actually now. Again, this is pretty much how you not use a Panther. You do not use the Panther at closest quarters possible because that's not where the Panther excels. The Panther excels but can use its armor to the best advantage. Up close the Panther's armor is a lot less effective. Right there feel like Dezman, desperate to get the Firefly, I think committed a bit of a tactical error there. About to lose his Stuke there as well. And now Justin has not just the infantry advantage but the armor advantage, and Dezman has barely anything left. And this Dezman surrenders again. He was actually close at several times to winning here, but ultimately a bit of passiveness. But I think also just the critical lack of infantry made it very difficult for Dezman to actually move in and finish off the fight. Whereas again, Justin, was just able to keep up pressure. I mean, it was expensive so much, but again, Dezman never really followed up there to really just finish him off. Because also, just can't help but to feel like the Sturmpanzer is still not frightfully good. He probably a bit off than Ostwind or two instead of that one Sturmpanzer, to be honest. Plus, I mean, he just lost in a bit of a silly way. But just overall, again, 2 infantry squads is too little, and particularly got Ostrom, you definitely want 3 if not 4 of them to sort of really contest the opponent. That was some of the mistakes that Dezman made that sort of slowly but surely allowed Justin to get up there, because while Justin wasn't really strategically or sort of tactically sort of really sharp, he was just a lot more consistent. As again, Dezman played really well, but at the same time he just made some critical mistakes here and there which then sort of undercut him. So it became less about who played best and who made less mistakes, I feel like, in some ways. In that regard, Justin's play was a lot less mistake prone or error prone and just in some ways more solid, and just could sort of slowly wear down Dezman, and kept making too many mistakes for him to really rebound from. So definitely some improvements there, I think, for Dezman here versus Justin. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, tell your friends, share it with everyone. If not, send in a replay and provide some feedback in the comment section. This is Imperial Ancient Cheers. Thank you for watching. If you like what I do, do consider donating. You can pledge or donate via PayPal, links in the video description. We can also find the link to where you can send in replays, in which case, do provide details as to where on the leaderboard, and, details as to the match. Again, replays it in with absolutely no details, I will largely ignore, unless I actually know that person is a good player beforehand. So, this is Imperial Ancient Cheers. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you tomorrow for another signing episode. Bye.